Welcome back. The big national story. Lok Sabha Speaker has disqualified Rahul Gandhi as a member of the lower house a day after he was convicted in a 2019 criminal defamation case by a Surat court. Let me now go across to former Law Minister Ashwani Kumar joining us. Mr. Kumar, thank you very much. In a short while, we will also be joined by Majeed Memon of the Trinamool Congress and A Saravanan of the DMK. But first, let's focus on Mr. Ashwani Kumar, the former Law Minister. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Give us a sense of what next for Rahul Gandhi. He has been disqualified by the Lok Sabha Speaker. What next? What are the legal options that he really has at this stage?
Well, obviously, the first option is to appeal the conviction, which I'm sure his lawyers are already working at. They will appeal the conviction, and they hope that they have a reasonable chance of succeeding, and so be it. The fact of the matter is that the law on disqualification pursuant to conviction for an offense where the punishment is 2 years is a very harsh law. And as per the law, which is the extant law in terms of the judgments of the Supreme Court and Lily Thomas and Lok Prahari, etc., as soon as a sentence of conviction is returned and a person is sentenced to 2 years of imprisonment, there is an instant and automatic disqualification. The letter, therefore, which has been issued by the Lok Sabha Secretariat today is only a ministerial effect to notify the effect of the conviction. Now, the remedy for Mr. Rahul Gandhi is to appeal the conviction and hope to obtain a stay on conviction, because the judgments also say that in case the appellate court, and that is the important point here, in case the appellate court stays the conviction, then the consequences of that conviction also go away. However, the twist in the tale is that the power to stay a conviction, as per the Supreme Court's judgment, is to be rarely exercised and only in exceptional circumstances where a case is made out on behalf of the appellant that the consequences of a refusal of stay of conviction would be disastrous. Now, whether or not in the facts of this case, Mr. Rahul Gandhi's lawyers succeed in getting this appellate court to stay the conviction or not is the moot point.
Right. Mr. Kumar, the first step, we believe, will be going to a sessions court before the High Court and the Supreme Court. How long, really, could this entire process go on? Until the time he gets a stay by any court, will he be able to contest any election, or any electoral contest is out of the question?
That's right. If he does not get a stay of conviction by the appellate court, he cannot contest an election. First, he has to undergo the sentence, and 6 years after the sentence, also he can't contest an election. It's a very harsh law. I think a time has come when we need to review the law. We need to temper the law with some reasonableness in order to ensure that a very valuable statutory right to represent the people, which is a core democratic right, is not taken away without even one reasonable opportunity to appeal the conviction. In fact, this is what the ordinance that was brought by the UPA government sought to achieve, to restore the status quo ante before the Lily Thomas judgment, which was to restore the effect of Section 8(4) of the Representation of People Act, which gave the right to the convicted person to appeal within 3 months. I think it's a very reasonable view to take of the law, and I think that is what the law ought to be. But unfortunately and regrettably, today that is not the law.
Right. I would also like to ask you, what does this mean really for Rahul Gandhi at this stage? He just completed the Bharat Jodo Yatra a few weeks ago. They were preparing for the general elections. And now with this judgment, what could be the possible setbacks for the Congress party? Or do you feel that this will increase the prospects of the Congress party in the upcoming elections? Will this rally the opposition closer together?
I think it will rally the opposition closer together. Whether it enhances the political stature of Mr. Rahul Gandhi or not, only time will tell. But I would like to say this as a lawyer, that the efficacy of the law all the judgments of the courts are only as effective as the extent to which they receive acceptance in the consciousness of the nation. Regardless of the legalities and the technicalities of the law as they stand today, my personal view as a lawyer and as a citizen is that this is too harsh a consequence for the offense that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is charged with, assuming that a case is made out for conviction. The consequence is too harsh, and I think the law needs to be tempered with a degree of reasonableness that affords an opportunity to a person to appeal against the conviction. So to answer your question, I don't know how this will pan itself out in the months ahead. But yes, it is a time of crisis. It is a time of test for the Congress party. I hope that the resilience of the party and the resilience of our political process would be such as to dispel any perception of injustice. I will not go beyond this to say that this is a case which has been treated any differently than the ones we have seen in the last couple of months. If the law is as rigorous as it is, and if the consequences are what they are, then consequent upon conviction, this had to come. And this, I think, was anticipated by the Congress party.
Right. All right. We've run out of time, but thank you very much, Mr. Ashwani Kumar, for joining us here on this broadcast, giving us your view on Rahul Gandhi's disqualification as an MP and what it means for the Congress party. Let's get in quick views from Majeed Memon of the TMC and also from Mr. Saravanan of the DMK. Majeed Memon, your views on Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. How will the opposition react together? Will this bring the opposition closer together ahead of the next general election?
For 48 hours, has shaken the Indian politics as well as also the legal fraternity, because two important things would rise. If you look at the impact, political as well as legal impact. Politically, one must say that BJP has been clever enough to take the best opportunity and hit back to Congress when this Congress leader, particularly Rahul Gandhi, who had acquired some goodwill and some political mileage with his toiling All India Bharat Jodo Yatra, etc., and therefore BJP was rather under impression that there is some kind of revival of Congress. So BJP was waiting for an opportunity, and the moment the opportunity came, they grabbed it. It made a boon out of it. This is political. Now, as political aspect is concerned, I must tell your viewers some very important fallout of what has happened. Now, firstly, I'm wondering as to how defamation case which went on in Surat, Congress took it probably so lightly, because we have never heard about it, that Rahul is facing trial and what is happening in the trial. It was never media covered. It was never found as to whether the case was weak or strong. It does not know whether the defense of Rahul was adequate and was effective enough to guard against these eventualities which have ultimately happened. Now, I'm afraid, how could Congress, with a host of legal luminaries at their disposal, could let this trial take place and then get conviction under defamation? As a practicing lawyer, let me tell your viewers that it is not very easy for the complainant to secure conviction for a defamation charge like this. But they have done it. Unless you attribute motive to the court or unless you attribute unfairness, you can't expect that this kind of a conviction would result. Number two, that if the court has imposed upon him 2-year sentence but has been fair enough to suspend the sentence for 30 days, he's on bail, he's not taken physically in custody. I think BJP should have not been so cruel to rush to get him disqualified in the matter of hours. They ought to have waited till he exercises his constitutional right of first appeal before the appellate court. And if the appellate court would have declined to stay the sentence and the conviction under Section 389 of Criminal Procedure Code, then the proceedings for disqualification should have begun. But this is deprivation of the constitutional right of first appeal to the accused.
All right. Mr. Saravanan of the DMK, do you believe that here Rahul Gandhi has a strong case, considering that the Lok Sabha Secretariat did not wait for a 30-day period but disqualified him immediately after the verdict? He can ask for a stay at least for a month as a result, or you feel he's lost that cause and only a stay will lift this disqualification? And what about the DMK? How will they be taking up this issue in the remaining part of the budget session?
This is clearly politically motivated. The move today by the BJP to immediately disqualify Mr. Rahul Gandhi. This is not any case involving, and this is not an offence involving moral turpitude. This is an alleged defamatory statement. And per se, everybody knows defamation, the laws of defamation. Only the person who is alleged to be defamed can maintain a complaint. Rahul Gandhi clearly mentions 3 names there, and none of those 3 have filed for defamation. This is some XYZ filing in the garb of a public interest that the community is defamed and all that. And I think the punishment is also very excessive for defamation. And let us also not forget, in the same state, Gujarat, Baburaj Bokiria, in 2013, was convicted for 3 years imprisonment for illegal quarrying of limestone. That is an offence involving moral turpitude. He was a minister. He got a stay of the conviction. He continued as a minister. So this is how the BJP treats. See, the BJP is clearly rattled by Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the Bharat Jodo Yatra, especially the way he spoke in the parliament.
Mr. Saravanan, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, Mr. Saravanan, but thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to Mr. Majeed Memon as well for sharing their views. Let's see how this plays out in the parliament in the days to come. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Newscenter. Don't go anywhere. News continues on CNBC-TV18.